Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobha
My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by words emanating from his lotus mouth. Lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando moi savadana mate Bando moi savadana mate Jahara prasade bhai e bhava toriya jai Jahara prasade bhai bhavatoriya jai Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoy te Prapti hoy jaha hoy te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Arana kori ho mane asha Arana kori ho mane asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनर बंधु लोकेनाथ लोके राजीवाना लोकेनाथ लोके राजीवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद लोके राजीवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद लोके राजीवाना आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया एबे जाज गुशक्त्रे भवाना एबे जाज गुशक्त्रे भवाना आहा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया एबे जाज गुशक्त्रे भवाना एबे जाज गुशक्त्रे भवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जया प्रभुपदा 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 श्रीला प्रभुपदा जया जया प्रभुपाद 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 जया जया प्रभुपाद Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kala Chandhi Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chandhi Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gauranitai, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
BBT founder Acharya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Nityalila Pravishnu Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Astatata Sata Shishimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Premsi Koho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Girdi Govardhana ki. Braja Vrindavan Dham ki. Maya Purnavadip Dham ki. Tulsi Devi ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Ganga Devi ki. Yamuna Devi ki. Sankirtan Yagna ki. Book distribution ki. Prasadam distribution ki. Going back home, back to Godhead ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. These days. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Brajachana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gaur Premanandi Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So this morning we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, and we're on text 20, is that right? Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tai Tai Kavavayam Dhyayat. Is that right? Oh no, we're on Rajas. Sorry. That was the verse before. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Where is the Sanskrit? Oh, there it is. Okay. Rajastamopiam akshipam vimadhaman atmanaha yachet dharanaya dhiro hantiya tat kritam mukam. Rajas tamobhyam akshiptam. Vimudham mana atmanaha. Yachataranaya diro. Hantiya takritam malam. Rajastamobhyam akshiptam. Vimudham mana atmanaha. Yachataranaya diro. Hantiya takritam malam. Please chant. Rajastamobhyam akshiptam. Vimudam mana atmanaha. Yachetaranaya diro. Hantiya takritam malam. Rajastamobhyam akshiptam. Vimudam mana atmanaha. Yachetaranaya diro. Hantiya tatkritam malam. Anyone else? Rajastamobhyam akshiptam. Vimudam mana atmanaha. Yachetaranaya diro. Hantiya takritam malam. All right. Raja, the passionate mode of nature. Tamobhyam, as well as by the ignorant mode of material nature. Akshitam, agitated. Vimudham, bewildered. Manaha, the mind. Atmanaha, of one's own. Yachat, get it rectified. Dranaya, by conception of Vishnu. Diraha, the pacified. Hanti, destroys. Ya, all those. Tatkritam, done by them. Malam, dirty things. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. One's mind is always agitated by the passionate mode of material nature and bewildered by the ignorant mode of nature, but one can rectify such conceptions by the relation of Vishnu and thus become pacified by cleansing the dirty things created by them. Please repeat. One's mind is always agitated by the passionate mode of material nature and bewildered by the ignorant mode of nature. But one can rectify such conceptions by the relation of Vishnu and thus become pacified by cleansing the dirty things created by them. Purport. Persons generally conducted by the modes of passion and ignorance cannot be bona fide candidates for being situated in the transcendental stage of God realization. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have the knowledge of the supreme truth. Effects of the mode of passion and ignorance are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women, and those who are too much after wealth and women can rectify their leanings only by constant remembrance of Vishnu and his potential and personal feature. Generally, the impersonalists or monists are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. Such impersonalists think of themselves as liberated souls, but they have no knowledge of the transcendental, personal feature of the absolute truth. Actually, they are impure in heart on account of being devoid of knowledge of the personal feature of the Absolute. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after many hundreds of births, the impersonal philosopher surrenders unto the personality of Godhead. To acquire such a qualification of God realization in the personal feature, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism. Pantheism in its higher status does not permit the student to form an impersonal conception of the absolute truth, but it extends the conception of the absolute truth into the field of the so-called material energy. Everything created by the material energy can be dovetailed with the absolute by an aptitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by the service attitude, and only in that devotional way can the theory of pantheism be perfected. Omagena Timurandasya, Gena Gena Shalakaya, Chakshura Militam Jena, Tasmai Shri Gurubhe Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Stapitam Jena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Gadamayam, Dadati Swa Padantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavanishwari, Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishes Sunyavadi Paskata Deshatarine. So immediately when we read this first sentence, I don't know about you, but I feel like calling any of you guys to come up here. Persons generally conducted by the modes of passion and ignorance cannot be bona fide candidates for being situated in the transcendental stage of God realization. Well, let's hang it up. I tried, and it didn't happen. Tried for a few decades, just didn't happen. So anyway, in one sense, you can feel really discouraged by reading that first sentence, because because we all know our own inventory, and I know my inventory of passion and ignorance, and I know I'm conducted by passion and ignorance. Just yesterday, I had a misunderstanding with a very sweet devotee, and it just was ridiculous. I was completely bewildered and completely in the mode of ignorance and passion, and just, whatever, the big false ego trip. And talked to Nanda Braja, talked to Mother Lakshmi Priya. They screwed my head back on, and I feel better. But it's only with Vaishnavas, it's only with the devotees that this happens, guys. It doesn't happen on our own. It can't happen on your own, because we tried it. It's said in all the Shastras that anyone who's chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you've already performed every single process out there. You've done it. You've done that. And did it work? No. Because you're here. You know it doesn't work. You know it doesn't work. And you know that there's more, that there's a personal feature. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have the knowledge of the supreme truth. Well, I get glimpses. Do you guys get glimpses of the mode of goodness? Anyone want to give an example of the mode of goodness? Anyone? Yeah, that's Visuddha Sattva. Okay. What's another example of the mode of goodness? Arjun? Krishna? Cleaning. Yes. Do we walk past that dirty trash can that's spilling over? If we have a few minutes, if we have even 5 or 10 minutes, and we know where the bags are, we yank it out of there. Hey, Prabhu, may I have a bag? I just want to get this tied off, you know. I mean, right, we don't walk past it. Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur, 1970-something, walked past a filthy latrine, very filthy latrine. And all his devotees, they just were prepared to walk right past it with him. And he turned around and he said, excuse me, do you see something wrong here? I'm paraphrasing. He said, do you see what's going on here? You know, and he said, this is dirty. You are part of it. If you'd ignore it, you're part of it. So that's me ignoring in my heart all that passion and ignorance. Well, Krishna will forgive me. I'll circumambulate Tulsi Devi extra. You know, it doesn't work. You got to actually try to get it out of there. You have to try to replace all that mode of ignorance with Krishna consciousness. Any other modes of goodness that anybody want to give an example of? Huh? Yes. Cooking fresh. The heating up the white rice, right? Srila Prabhupada already told us it's toxic. Don't do it. I eat it cold. If I have leftover white rice, I just eat it cold. I just chew it extra in my mouth. But do not heat up white rice. It is not clean, and it becomes toxic. So cooking fresh, that means we bring everything fresh to the deities. Do we buy frozen bags of vegetables for deities? No, we don't. We bring them corn on the cob and shave it off, just like Sanatan Govinda did the other day, very painstakingly shaving all those cobs and getting the corn off and making nice prep. Pardon? No plastic flowers for the deities. Right on. Right on. This is good. That's so good. Anything else? Don't mistake the mode of goodness for being pure Krishna consciousness, though, because you can be in the mode of goodness, and unless you offer it to the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna, and you come before them and offer the fruits of that mode of goodness, it's temporary. And then what happens? Passion and ignorance comes in, right? Because what's happening with the modes? Arjun, can you answer? Always competing. Always competing. Who likes that cover of the book, Karma? Have you seen that book? The puppet master, Maya Devi. And what is she doing? She's just goodness, passion, ignorance. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. Goodness, over and over again. You know, it's just, it's if you don't offer it to Krishna, you're not fixed. It won't fix you. Okay. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have knowledge of the supreme truth. Effects of the modes, passion and ignorance, are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women. Any examples of hankering after wealth and women in Matajis? Not men? Don't answer men. It's obvious. Matajis, can you answer? Too much hankering after wealth and men. Doesn't have to be women. It can be men, right? Controlling. I'm guilty. First one here. I'm in the room. I'm guilty of controlling people. I always try to control. I'm bossy boots. I walk in a room, I see what's wrong, and I fix it. And I'm not supposed to do that anymore. I found out yesterday. That's not your job. Okay. Women hanker after wealth and men. Adoration, profit, distinction. It's not just a man disease. Hello, ladies, you got it too. Let's make this a non-sectarian, non-sexist movement here, because that's what Prabhupada intended. You see? So all those who are too much after wealth in women can rectify their leanings only by constant remembrance of Vishnu and his potential and personal feature. Does anybody have an example of what Srila Prabhupada's saying here? He says, generally the impersonalists or monists are influenced by the modes passion and ignorance. Such impersonalists think of themselves as liberated souls, but they have no knowledge of the transcendental personal feature of the absolute truth. So can anybody give an example of meditating on the impersonal feature? Anybody? What about taking a nature walk and seeing God in nature? That's God. It's impersonal, but it's God. What are the trees? His hair, right? What are the mountains? His bones, right? What else? Can anybody think of any other part of nature? What about, What is the sun? Eyes. The sun and the moon, right? And what are the lakes and the oceans? That's his navel and his semen and his water of life. That's him. That's where he generates, right? So what does seeing God in nature do? Don't you want to know who created it? Right? It's like the Big Bang Real Estate Agency. Has anybody ever heard that joke about the Big Bang Real Estate Agency? No? This is a good one. Darasha, you probably remember it. So you take a bunch of wood and bricks and mortar and you pile it up by the side of the road and you stand there and you wave people down and say, hey, for only $350,000, I will explode your house into existence. No? You don't want to give me the money? Why? Right? You're going to explode a watch into existence? Right? So that's the thing. So after appreciating nature and being there and seeing the birds and the animals and the beauty of nature and all the variety, you wonder, wait a minute, who created this? This is just not by chance. I mean, how is it possible, right? The Lord knows every single total of hairs on every living entity, including bugs. And yes, bugs have hair too. So that's the thing. Krishna is aware of all of it. He's totally aware. All right. And actually, they are impure in heart on account of being devoid of knowledge of the personal feature of the Absolute. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after many hundreds of births, the impersonal philosopher surrenders unto the personality of Godhead. Who knows that verse? Oh, come on, guys. Hello? Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam Chamanam Mante. Yeah, come on. Sarvameti, Samahatma, Sadurlavaha, right? So there it is, after many, many births, right? The impersonal philosopher surrenders unto the personality of Godhead. So what's a famous example? The gopis of Vrindavan. Who were they in their previous lives? They were great sages, right? Isn't it? To acquire such a qualification of God realization in the personal feature, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism. Who knows what pantheism is? Take a guess. Yeah. Yes. Very good. What's a deeper definition of pantheism? Anybody? Okay, go for it. Read it out loud.
Pantheism. It's pantheism. One, doctrine which identifies God as the
That's right. Pantheism in its higher status does not permit the student to form an impersonal conception of the absolute truth, but it extends the conception of the absolute truth into the field of so-called material energy. What's happening in the world today is everything's been disconnected. It's all disconnected. You do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. How many people are driving in Dallas these days? Who drives in Dallas? How many people have seen at a stop sign or at a red light? Many, many people running lights. We were at the intersection of Buckner and Garland, and my husband and I counted 15 cars running red lights. It is not safe anymore. They know there's no consequence. No consequence. We can do whatever we want. What is that political position? When there's no one in charge, what's it called? Thank you, anarchy. The opposite of pantheism. Pantheism is understanding there's someone behind all of it. And yeah, the cameras are coming back up in Dallas because it's getting bad. People are dying. They're getting killed in intersections now. Pedestrians mowed down. An elderly lady right on Ferguson, completely smashed flat like a pancake. And they kept driving. And 20 or so neighbors and car drivers, they saw what happened. All of them pulled over. And they all formed a blockade. And they stopped. They stopped everything. They stopped all the traffic. They were so upset and angry at what happened. Because unless you speak up, it's not going to stop. Unless you be part of the change that you want to see, it's going to keep going. And that means book distribution, right? That means prasadam distribution. That means don't be afraid to say, hey, Hare Krishna. Oh, I don't believe in Krishna. Who's this Hare Krishna? Like that. Even if they say that, their life has begun, right? So that's what it means. You got to be part of the change. This is a movement. We're meant to move, and we're meant to give. That's what it is. And it's not stagnant like I've been my whole life. So let's wrap it up. Everything created by the material energy can be dovetailed with the absolute by an attitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. Can anyone comprehend that sentence? Srila Prabhupada says that the absolute by an attitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. The word that comes to mind is dharma. What's the dharma of water? Wetness. What's the dharma of babies? Crying. What's the dharma? Well, no, I'm just saying. It's like that. What's the dharma of fire? Heat. Hot. What is the dharma of the living entity? Service. There you go. And that's what that sentence means. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by this service attitude, and only in that devotional way can the theory of pantheism be perfected. All right, I want to open the floor. Anything, any additions, subtractions, chastisement, correction, please? I'm on a roll. You can correct me. I've been corrected a few times last week. That's the nice thing about coming to the Hare Krishna temple. You find out what you need to work on. And I need that. That's self-realization. Yeah, you got anything? No? You're just scratching your head? All right. I hate to end it early unless you want to talk about the modes of material nature and how we need to help people get out of this horrible suffering. Because that's what's going on. It's a big ocean. Ignorance. The ocean. Goodness, people are bobbing in the ocean. Help. Yes, sir. Nanda Braja. Thank you, Prabhu, for being here. Thank you for being here. Serve. Very good. I'm going to synopsis your question. I'm going to put it in a, see if I can put it in a more succinct way. Nanda Braja Prabhu is saying that we see our hearts, we know our inventory of passion and ignorance, and yet we're asked to do service. And how can we go forward knowing that we're so unqualified and so lacking and inadequate? Anyone care to take a stab at that? Because I've got my own answer to that. It really, I had a hard time coming to this class. I asked probably 6 people or 5 people to please give class. So here I am. Anyway, yes, Jai Hari. Oh yes. Okay. So Braj, I'm sorry, Bhagavatanand. Go ahead. So Bhagavatananda Prabhu, thank you so much for running in and throwing in some nectar. Okay, so Bhagavatananda's knowing that we're part of a mission that will go forward for the next 10,000 years will help us know that this is bigger than us. This is way bigger than us. And we can kind of put that aside and serve. Jai Hari, please. Mm. 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 Mm.
But that's actually not true at all.
Mm.
Because in order to be of service to our guru, to choose Prabhupada,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be full of esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, who are you going to want?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want people that are like fully capable, confident, and bright and cheery, and right? Or are you going to want someone that's like, oh, I can't wash those dishes.
Because I'm too fallen. I'm too fallen to do this. I'm too fallen to do that. Right.
So regardless of like
Right.
what kind of like narcissism has, or whatever, regardless of like different amounts of passion, ignorance, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Because
Right.
like Srila Prabhupada says, the first lesson is basically being willing to be of service. And actually that service itself is going to transform us over time. Right?
Okay.
So I always hope I can be transformed
Thank you. Thank you.
It's really admirable for anyone to be of service, no matter who or what it was. That's the whole point.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
But we can all serve.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to nutshell what, because there's people listening online, I'm going to try to nutshell what our beloved Jai Hari, who's just spent several weeks on the road with some very elevated brahmacharis, he is saying that if we just get out of the way, that really this, like Bhagavatananda said, that it's not about us. It's not about who we are. It's not about profit, adoration, distinction, fame. It's not about that. It's about serving. And it's about doing the service as a service to the spiritual master in Krishna. Is that right? Did I get that right? And then the second part of Jai Hari's was humility. He asked, what is humility? And the answer was, humility is just knowing where you are. Is that right? And just serving in a humble mood means just no airs, no pretension, just seeing the service is more important than anything, even though we may be lacking. Is that good? Okay. Okay, yes.
I was going to say, just knowing what your employee is, recently I knowing that truly touch on mercy, because I had realized I actually was doing my commandments, that moment when I realized that, it's not my job to try to change the single devotee who's micromanaging me, or whether I realize it or not. It's not my job to change them. I realized at that moment, I now know that's what my issue is, so I need to work on that myself.
Okay.
Focus on whatever devotee is micromanaging me.
Okay. I have a question for you about that, but I want to say what you said. Yeah, I'm going to try to repeat it. And Rasaraj Prabhu, if you're listening to this class, would you please, with straw in my teeth, I'm begging you to get that mic fixed. Please, the mobile mic. Begging. Thank you, Prabhu. All right, so Garuda Dwaja Prabhu is saying that he realized, in regard to the modes of passion, ignorance, inventory, that he has an issue with being micromanaged. And he at first was just really kind of irritated with the senior devotee. But then he realized, wait a minute, this is deeper. I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to see what's going on. What is my issue with being micromanaged? Is that right? And then he's actually been able to transcend. Am I right? Transcending. One day at a time, right? So my question to you is, did you ever think to maybe go to that devotee and just fall at their feet and say, Prabhu, I'm having some difficulty with surrendering to being managed or micromanaged. Would you please help me with this? Okay, just a humble suggestion, because I've had to do that. In fact, the rule was in Brahmacharini days that we were taught by Mother Madhura and Mother Krishna Bhamini, who are still with us, that girls, because we had about 10 in the ashram at one point, you're going to get a lot of requests from all the men in the community, because we were cooking, we were cleaning, making garlands, we were just organizing and doing a lot of background and support. And you're going to get a lot of requests. So what you do is say, Jai Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, Jai Prabhu, and then come see me. That's what they said. Just agree with them, whatever they say, and then come see me. So that's what was so ecstatic about having an ashram, is that you have an authority, and that there, when something really gets on you, you can take shelter, just like you're very close to Rutatvaja Maharaj, His Holiness, and you have that closeness of father and son, and you can reveal your mind in confidence. Very special. And that's, yeah, right? It helps. Is it? Okay, anything else? All right, 8:28, we're going to end the class. Have an ecstatic Saturday. Jai Shilpa Mataji for leading Mangalarti prayer today. Woo! Smoking. All right. Grantarat Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sangha Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Haribo. Lives over here. He lives there. Okay. Hare Krishna. Oh, you took it.
You have it? It was toasted? It's not toasted. Yep.
Burning desire. Oh, wow. I would have backed you up. This one is like automatic draw because it's secret Krishna preparing for tomorrow. It's just like all you do is plug and play. That's it.
We'll get ready to sit down, and then we'll remember there's a truck on the road that says, run out to the.
I wanted to ask, I just kept feeling the restaurant and I didn't want to ask, so I'll wait. Make sure. Thank you for being here. It's like having Drew Day.
Oh, yeah.
Please, I know, all right. But you're his brother and I can't help it. Every time I see you, I think of Drew Day.
Well, every time I see you,
So like, how did he get this crazy person in here?
we're God siblings.
God.
Does
Both.
anyone have any?
He's both my uncle and my brother. Did you kid?
Yes.
You did.
It's so hot and I just drink it.
I can't tell you, seeing you on the first Granty is so auspicious. Oh my gosh.
You want, you just want to
I just want to drink the whole thing. Wait. Okay. Wow. Whoa. Man, that's good. Whoever made that, really understands motherfucker.
Whoever did is even called that, they bought it,
That motherfucker.
they coined it with some.
And the Lord accepted it. Yep, and the Lord accepted it. Got another taker. My name's Pinky, what's yours? How beautiful. I'm gonna wash first. You can use that. It's COVID free. It's COVID vaccinated. It has a shield. And Krishna put a shield on it. All right, you're good, Paula. Thank you.
The glass was wonderful.
Oh no, you guys make it. It's so nice when the babies are here. And we know they're there online. We know that.
Thank you.
But it's just so nice seeing your eyes and knowing you're here. Swedish girl. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you. Oh my gosh, we get those. Let's bring them to the prashadam. Yeah? You got?
Yes.
You sure? You're not lying?
Sure.
Okay. Because you're in front of the deities, you know that's
Yeah, I know.
serious. Okay. All right.